You asked for it, you got it. Welcome to JFCC Food Review. I'm your host, Jace. This week, we will be eating by Cali the Faux Thai Bomb. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but Thai Bomb. If you can, yeah. If you know how to pronounce that, please comment it, or at least try to. See if you can convey the sounds in some way, shape, or form. This was selected by my good friend and fellow Frost King, Kmart, also known as Really Not That Bad, Real Klein and Jay's fan. He goes through a lot of names, but he's a cool guy. Alright, so the weird thing about how this food was delivered was it came with the soup and the meat and noodles and vegetables all separated. So I have brought my own bowl to hopefully fit everything in. Let's give it a go. Alright. Let's start with the meat and noodles. Yeah, you saw that go everywhere. I'll just go ahead and pull this apart by hand because I have lovingly washed my hands before showing up to this. And let's pour soup in. Oh, that's very warm. Now, because I am a weeb, I will be using chopsticks. See if we can get this going a bit. Try to stir this up, get the noodles and the meat all mixed in. The next few weeks will probably be a lot easier, especially if we go something along the lines of the previous 2 weeks, which I apologize for not being able to record, but we are recording this week. While we wait for that to settle a bit, let's try the other thing that was requested. Watermelon bubble tea. Now, I personally like bubble tea. Some people might say it's gay, but I really enjoy it. I apologize for the noise. This is a university living, so all the people with the straightened tailpipes and fancy cars go like nuts, including 2 a.m. Makes a great thing to wake up to. Helps get your morning going early. So, let's give this a sample. It's not as strongly sweet as you'd expect with a lot of things. It has a very milky look, especially with the whipped cream on top, but it has a very icy kind of flavor. You know, the watermelon tastes like fresh, less so like a poured-in flavor. The boba bubbles, which are essentially the same thing as tapioca, you can see them here at the bottom, are pretty good. I rather enjoy them. And plus, if you finish the drink without finishing all the boba, you can shoot them through the straw. It's like spitballs, except way more effective. One of my favorite things is to go walking down the road and go to passing pickup trucks and spitball it into the back of the pickup trucks. I do a lot of bad things to pickup trucks. Alright. Let's see if we can get anything out of our main course. Alright. Woo! Quite a lot of noodles. I'll be definitely putting more soup in here in a bit when I can get this lowered. Alright. First bite. That is very good. Now, I like the lightness of the noodles. They're not as thick or starchy as a lot of other noodles, in my opinion, because if I recall correctly, they're rice noodles, but don't quote me on that. You know, go ahead and give it a quick Google yourself. With a lot of pho, because I'm a big fan of it. There's some local places back home. Sorry for the shadows. I'll have to get better lighting next time. I go to a few pho places, and the lightness of the noodles combined with a very strong broth, I think makes for a very good flavor. Something that kind of spreads throughout all your mouth rather than feeling super specific in one location due to it being, broth and liquid. Now let's see. Let's get a chunk with some meat. Well, looks like we're getting all the meat or none of the meat. See if we can spread the meat up a bit. Maybe have a few vegetables while we're here. Permeates into the broth flavor, permeates into the light vegetables as well. All right, noodles and meat. Oh, that's good. I'm not usually a big fan of ground beef. I've recently taken a liking to burgers, but prior with a lot of ground beef stuff, especially when mixed into like, more Italian, Western style noodle dishes, pasta, it doesn't sit particularly well with me. But this feels more like a natural beef flavor, which is complemented quite well by the broth. Let's go ahead and give it another go. Asian noodles. Well, it's still living up to the beginning taste. A lot of foods I find, the first few bites are better than the last few bites. But this has not gone down in quality in what I've consumed thus far. Now I did catch a few noodles. So good, even not surrounded by broth. Now a drink of watermelon. So, the DoorDash delivery guy, because this is all done through DoorDash, said the interesting thing to him that was pretty funny was when he went to go pick up the order, he had only been here once before, and the way they wrote watermelon bubble tea was they just wrote watermelon. So he showed up seeing the pho tai bom, once again, I have no idea how to pronounce that, and watermelon. He didn't know what he was going to be getting. Luckily, it was something pretty easy to carry rather than a whole freaking watermelon. Let's take another bite. Got an onion there mixed in. So all in all, well, this is going to be a large meal, so I'm not going to waste your time eating the whole thing on camera. I would give this, let's go ahead and start throwing numerical scores out there. That's going to be our new thing, starting this week. Videos and numerical scores. I'm going to give this, let's go with an 8. I'm very picky with scores. I don't give a lot of things 10. So, an 8 on my scale, a full 1 to 10 scale, with 5 being average meal. An 8 would be a very good meal, and something I definitely recommend and go for again. Well, that will conclude this week's video portion of the review. If you'd like to help decide what we're doing next week, I'd recommend jumping in Jack Frost Cooler Club, the Frost Squad exclusive chat. And next Saturday night, you can, partake in the voting too. And decide what I'm going to have next. Could be anything. There's a lot of options. A lot of different restaurants, a lot of different styles. Well, let me know how you think this video review went. Now, you might be wondering, why are there so many mistakes? Was this all in one take? Yes, it was, because I can't uneat the food. I eat it once, and it stays eaten. You don't get the whole process of me pouring it in a second time. So I'd like to thank Kmart for deciding this week's fantastic meal. And I'd like to thank everyone who has partaken in these Saturday night, I'm still deciding on the name, like it was Frost Squad Decides Jace's Dinner, You know, there's a lot of different names we could throw out there. But yes, I'd like to thank everyone who has partaken prior. Silenti, Rido, etc. Bear. And I'd like to, well, thank the server for allowing me to run this event. Even though it might have been met with some opposition at first, a lot of the mod team was very excited to have me do it, and I figure it will be continuing on. So, until next week, I need a catchphrase.